Good morning, YouTube, and thank you if you are one of my followers. I'd say thank you first of all. This is my journey for rebuilding my GSX750F. She's a 1992 and she's a work in progress. So I've taken the petrol tap apart in the last video. This video we're going to rebuild the petrol tap. It has caused me quite a great deal of stress because I couldn't actually see where some of the parts went. And then, lo and behold, I managed to lose the spring. But having lost the spring, I did then remember that I had a container full of parts that were specifically for this bike. And lo and behold, it was there all the time. So let's get on with it. I'm going to take you to the workbench and do a close-up on rebuilding the petrol tap. And here we go, with sound. We are going to rebuild today the Petcock. Okay, so the petrol tap is being rebuilt today. This is the part that goes in the fuel tank. This is the first obstacle you come across, is you need to get this piece of plastic with the concave bit facing outwards from the tap. You need to get that in between these two rubbers. So bend but don't crease the first one. And you can gently push them through. So you can do it sideways. Gently push them through the hole. There she is. She's in. Almost. Right, in. Okay, this part just need to put just a drop of 3-in-1 oil onto the O-ring. Right. Now put the assembly in there. Oh, it's coming along. Line up the holes. Line up the holes. Don't forget the gasket. I did this earlier, and I did forget the gasket. But don't forget the gasket. The gasket goes on next. Lined up with the holes. Well, just a little bit there. Line the gasket up with the holes. Now ensure that you make sure that the hole is in the, I don't want to get this wrong again, put the hole in the down position here. Okay, so you've got the part that goes into the tank. You then got the concave part of the plastic facing towards the rear where the vacuum hose goes, and you've got the hole down the bottom. Next comes your spring. This is the spring that was missing from the kit, but fortunately I had saved it from the bike. Save all the parts until the job's finished. I saved it and then didn't remember where I'd saved it, but it was in the box of parts. Look, box of bike. Okay, that is the Petcock or fuel tap rebuilt. But also I still need to take off this part to put the other O-ring in. So let's give this a go, see if we can take it apart at the same time. It's just a screw in the side. Let's try and do it now before we put the hoses in. It would be a shame not to use that new O-ring because the other one's been in there years. One screw. Oh, there we go. Now where is that O-ring? That must be under there. How does that come off? Looks like a clip. Oh, there we go. Just a clip. Just a clip. Unclip it this side. Don't lose the bits. Don't lose the bits. Oh, there it is. Ah, so there's the other spring. So we had a spring come in the kit. A long spring, long pin spring was in the kit, and a new O-ring. That must be the box of parts. Okay, so here we go. I think I'm going to give this a bit of a clean as well while it's out. This only goes one way by the looks of it. Is it clean in there? Is it clean? Looks fairly clean. I'm going to run that hole there through with a pin. Seems to be clean. Alright. Okay. So this old O-ring needs to come off. Wow, look how perished that is. So it's a good job we just did replace it, because that is just falling apart. Look at that. Just falling apart. Very perished, one very perished O-ring. Saw the bits falling off on the tap. Right, it's clean. I'm going to put a tiny bit of oil, 3-in-1 oil. Ah! 3-in-1 oil on the new O-ring. Pop it back on. Pop it back on. So we really did need that rebuild kit. I'm going to give this a little bit of a clean. It's going to get a bit fumy with the... Let's just give that dunk in there. Give it a dunk in, then get the lid back on. And a bit of a wipe down. Bit of a wipe down. That's not the best wipe down, but there you go. So that's where the spring goes that did come in the kit. So new spring in there. New O-ring on. Pop this back on. Right, so having taken the front off of the fuel tap, we now have the new O-ring in place. with a little bit of grease on it as well, a little bit of oil, sorry, not grease, a little bit of oil on it as well. That's the new O-ring. There is a flat side on this shaft. Okay, so that needs to, on this shaft here, there's a flat side. The flat side needs to go to the flat side, obviously, on here. This fell out, which is just a washer. The washer went in here where the screw went. Now I have to get back on this retaining clip. So the spring goes in. Now I've got to get the retaining clip back on. I'll take this out for the moment. I'm not quite sure which way round this goes. But it has got one of these square bits is bigger than the other. Taking it off, cleaned it. Now which way round does it go? So the O-ring's back on. It goes in there. I do have to get look, we've got prime. It's actually marked on there. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually marked on there. Prime, fuel, and on. So it tells you which way round it goes on the petrol tap. So now this will be in the tank this way round, so the prime would be over to the right. Prime. It says reserve, on, prime and fuel. So prime goes to the right hand side. Fuel, oh, okay, that says fuel on. Reserve, prime, fuel. Fuel on. Just check again. No, it can't be that way, because that would put the, has to be that way. So prime, fuel, reserve. So again, okay, so it comes, okay, again, let's get this done. The spring goes in there, the O-ring's on. You'll see that there's two bits on here. One's bigger than the other. Align the big one with the big one on the inside of here and make sure that's positioned first so that so it goes in fully. And this is the easiest way to do it, so it's located so it's fully in. You do need to push it down a little bit to get it properly in. I was having trouble, so I turned the video off because I was so frustrated with it, but that's the key. That is the key. So it's like a key. One is slightly bigger than the other. Make sure, I'm going to point it out here. I've got the bigger side here, smaller side here. So the bigger one, put it in. Make sure it locates. And you do need to press it quite firmly for the rubber seal to go in and the spring. Right, it's in. Now, using your thumb, hold it secure. Going to put the locating clip on, which will only go one way round because there's a cutout here, and that's where the little clip goes, the on position. So I'm going to try and hold that down. Slide that over. Now I can hold down with my thumb. Like everything, it's easier said than done. Napkin thing. Try again. Right, hold that down so it's flush. So if it's that way up in the tank, prime needs to be to that. Ah, there we go. Prime to the right. Clip on. Slide the clip down. Slide the clip down. New fuel hose on the prime side. New clip to hold it in position. Okay, new clip, and also have the fuel pipe for the other side going on. Just loosen that clip a bit. Push the hose on and put the clip in position. Okay, one rebuilt, hopefully working. That does feel better than before. Fuel tap. Last but not least, here is where the large O-ring from the pack goes. The one that came off had already taken the form of the oval, so that's the one that came off. The one that came in the pack was a circle. So we're going to have to make sure that stays in place while we refit this to the fuel tank. But that's enough for this morning because I need to go out, and unfortunately I've got to leave my bike alone now. So back onto it tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join me in the next video where I attempt to rebuild my GSX750F.